He's what? He don't look like no damn 6'2". What the hell? Yeah. What's good, y'all? Back at it again with another reaction. I know y'all have been waiting for this one for a minute, and the fact that this guy's been so successful, only releasing music on his own platform. If I recall correctly, his most recent Mad About Bars was his first time not putting something on his own channel. So the fact that y'all have been supporting him this much means that there has to be something worth supporting, and I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. Let's get it. So I've kind of gathered from some recent context clues that Chanaynay is like slang for Chanel, like the brand. So let me know if I'm right about that. So if you saw my recent product of my environment reaction, you would have heard me say that I'm not really too much of a fan of DBE and like the auto-tune sound. This time around, it sounds like it's not as strong as they do it, but I'm kind of liking it. It's different.
Takers, I can drive it by myself. Gotta keep on the waist. I love designer on my belt. I ain't handling no handles, I can handle it myself. Now it's the mirror in my jeans. Pace splatters on my leg, matching my B23. See the police don't get cold feet, cause they telling you free. Hottest Marley in the game, you probably mentioning me. Yeah. She see me eating, now she wanna be my best friend.
Yes, this is one of those moments where the auto-tune is kind of overpowering what he sings. Like, I want to focus the way he's saying, but it's like drowning out his own voice.
On my leg, matching my B23. See the police don't get cold feet, cause they telling you free. Hottest Marley in the game, you probably mentioning me. Yeah. She see me eating, now she wanna be my best friend. Tell her I hatch before I take these hoes to West End. Her body shape her 8, but overall she's 10-10. She locked me up because I did things with her best friend. I'm 6'2", I'm trying to fly before I'm 6 feet. Going passenger, I'm trying.
He's what? He don't look like no damn 6'2". What the hell?
These hoes to West End. Her body shape her 8, but overall she's 10-10. She locked me up because I did things with her best friend. I'm 6'2", I'm trying to fly before I'm 6 feet. Going passenger, I'm trying to fly 6 feet.
Oh, I get it. I'm 6'2", and then before 6 feet, as in 6 feet under.
I'm 6'2", I'm trying to fly before I'm 6 feet. Going passenger, I'm trying to fly 6 feet. I write my shit all by myself and then I switch beats. Swallowed my pride, she swallows kids, I told that bitch leave. She from the hood, she got Chanaynay, she probably twerk for it. He got a watch and got a chain, he probably surf for it. Everyone you see around me had to work for it. It's kinda sad when you confess cause you get mad for it. I know some niggas in the night, they keep on going in. I chose around me, hard pal, my money flowing in. My baby bro try to be like me, I'm trying to hold it in. This the environment, I don't want.
I just want to say I like the direction for the video. I like this approach, kind of going in and out of like you're seeing him, but you're also seeing him from the first person as well. It's really interesting. Also, I like the point that he made about how it's like you can't really get fly or else people are going to want to murk you for it. It kind of speaks to why a lot of people have to leave the environment that they ultimately want to uplift, because at the end of the day, not everybody around them wants to see them win. And even those who do, after a certain level of success, if they're not seeing it or if their hands aren't in that pot as well, then, you know, they just get jealous. So I like the fact that you pointed that out.
Get mad for it. I know some niggas in the night, they keep on going in. I chose around me, hard pal, my money flowing in. My baby bro try to be like me, I'm trying to hold it in. This the environment, I don't want to see him growing in. Young, fly, Marley, and I stay get.
You know, just from hearing him say that, and also now that I know how Ab sounds with DBE, I think Abracadabra and wewantwraiths, I think they would actually work out pretty well. Again, if they dial back on the auto-tune, I understand that it can help the voice sound a little bit better, but at the same time, I feel like it also takes away from what their voice can already do. And even when I think about somebody like Stormzy, for example, where he's not a singer, but when he sings, there's like a certain rawness and authenticity that comes from having closer to the real voice that kind of adds a layer to it. But I think that him and Abs would actually sound really good. And also hearing where his mind is at from this particular song, I think there's room.
My baby bro try to be like me, I'm trying to hold it in. This the environment, I don't want to see him growing in. Young, fly, Marley, and I stay getting fly. I came late into the game and I'm ahead of my time. I couldn't even get a cue, I had to wait in the line. I kept.
You know, I kind of agree with that. Even though I haven't heard much, obviously it's my first time listening to him. I like that point that he made where he says he's ahead of the game. Because honestly, like, he could have just chose to come out, make drill. You know what I mean? If he really wanted to, even if that may not necessarily be his lifestyle, he could have still chose to make those songs, kind of get that quick gratification, you know, into the game, kind of doing this sound that everybody's doing. But the fact that he's kind of already seeing beyond the fact that drill may be good for you when you're starting out, but in terms of the longevity of your career, I don't know if that's his mindset, but if that is, he definitely is ahead of the game.
Came late into the game and I'm ahead of my time. I couldn't even get a queue, I had to wait in the line. I kept it patient at times, I couldn't wait to get by. Had to go rings, I'm trying to fly, I need to make moves. These niggas too fake, I ain't talking about no fake too. I do this one take, I'll be greedy if I take two.
Too fake too.
I kept it patient at times, I couldn't wait to get by. Had to go rings, I'm trying to fly, I need to make moves. These niggas too fake, I ain't talking about no fake too. I do this one take, I'll be greedy if I take two. This what it takes to make it out, you have to stay true. Painting my pictures in my mind, they couldn't frame me. He tries to blame me, said my name, they can't detain me. Insufficient evidence, they can't contain me. I never knew you'd be around when they say cheap. She from the hood, she got Chanaynay, she probably twerk for it. He got a watch and got a chain, he probably surf for it. Everyone you see around.
I also have to say it's really refreshing to not be listening to drill. Not that I have anything against drill, but it's always good to have these things kind of like existing at the same time. It goes to show that you don't necessarily have to do one genre to be successful, but also having those breaks almost allows you to appreciate the sounds individually, at least in my opinion. I feel like when it was like that oversaturation of the Afro swing, like every song kind of started sounding and feeling the same. Similarly with drills, when you have these different varieties of sounds at the same time, everything gets its own opportunity to shine, in my opinion.
I may have to work for it. It's kinda sad when you confess cause you get mad for it. I know some niggas in the night, they keep on going in. I chose around me hard, plan my money flowing in. My baby bro try be like me, I'm trying to hold it in. This the environment, I don't want to see him growing in. Time flies, used to never having shit, we had to grind twice. I wear my Dios in the H going in.
It's simple, but I like that flow switch. I like it. Like he's doing like the singing rapping thing, but like the way that flow works with this beat and how the beat kind of slowed down, it's kind of really make you have to focus on what he's saying. I appreciate those kind of things.
My baby bro try be like me, I'm trying to hold it in. This the environment, I don't want to see him growing in. Time flies, used to never having shit, we had to grind twice. I wear my Dios in the Asian, they got size 9. Plus the streets too treacherous, I'm praying 5 times. My heart really turning black, I'm telling white lies. We were sitting on the steps like it was time out. 4 bars hanging out the back and we make paths out. High performance in the engine, make the bright sound. VVS's look like daylight on the night. She from the hood, she got Chanaynay, she probably twerk for it. He got a watch and got a chain, he probably surf for it. Everyone you see around me had to work for it. It's kinda sad when you confess cause you get mad for it. I know some niggas in the night, they keep on going in. I chose around me hard, plan my money flowing in. My baby bro try be like me, I'm trying to.
Let me guess, was he in Dubai? Y'all let me know. I feel like he was in Dubai. I feel like he was in Dubai.
My baby bro try be like me, I'm trying to hold it in. This the environment, I don't want to see.
I could be wrong. Or I could be right. But I like it. You know what he's reminding me of? He's reminding me of Dino. I think him and Dino would actually sound good too. He's kind of reminding me of Dino in terms of like coming straight out the gate, swinging with the singing, talking about his environment, talking about the things that he doesn't want to see and all of that. Like that's how Dino sounded when he was first coming out too. So I think that those two could probably do a really good collaboration. But yeah, I like the direction. So in this channel, we hold the vowels. That means we're gonna get straight into it, and this one gets just below a 9. Now going straight into the categories for this one. The flow on this one with a song like this is really only but so much you could really do. It didn't really start catching my attention for the flow until towards the end, during the part that y'all saw me like reacting to physically. I feel like had it not been for that part, I probably would have given it an 8 for the flow, just primarily because there weren't any moments that made me say which at least for me is enough for it to stay at an 8. If there was something that was like, alright, that was a little bit off, I don't really like the flow choice there, then it would have started hitting that 7.5 range. But the fact that he did have that breakdown moment and where he did kind of use that flow very consistently, and also kind of helped what he was saying stand out during the breakdown of the beat, I like that a lot. Now the thing about the beat on this one is that it really was not a terrible beat, but something that you may have heard me say recently is that there really wasn't anything about this beat that was ownable to this song. So like just off the top of my head right now, right, I can't necessarily hum this song or like describe the instrumental to this song to you in a way where if I said it, you would know I'm talking about Chanaynay. Like there's certain things about it that just feel so, for lack of a better way to put it, generic to this kind of vibe. Yeah, it has the pianos, it has like the really hard hitting bass, but the way that everything was composed, it just wasn't unique to this. But with that being said, it still followed a very solid template. Now, part of the reason why I had so much trouble rating this one ties into the point that I was making during the reaction about really being oversaturated with drill right now. Now, granted, I obviously have the choice to listen to whatever it is I want to, but because the majority of what I react to is drill, that ultimately ends up being the majority of what I'm listening to in my day-to-day in general. And then ultimately what that ends up doing is that it makes me really want to focus in on specific things and look for specific things while I'm listening. So like, for example, the flow on this kind of song is not going to match the flow on a drill beat, for example. The content, like what they're talking about, isn't going to match. So if I'm going from listening to certain kinds of things and certain kinds of deliveries and uses of wordplay that are really staple in drill, and listening to that so much and then coming to a track like this, I don't know, it's just really difficult. Like, I can't rate this one the way I would rate a drill song, but at the same time, the music is music, so it's that weird line. But with that being said, I do think that this was a very solid song lyrically. I especially like the points that he started making with regards to, like, you know, not wanting his brother to be living in a certain environment. The point that he made that I touched on with regards to he can't necessarily stay in that environment while he's doing good because people aren't going to want to see him doing good. Things like that. And I can always appreciate when artists have the presence of mind to bring that kind of lyricism into songs that generally feel like they're meant to be like a feel-good song, you know? Now, I do genuinely think that the use of auto-tune on this one made it really difficult for me to really capture some of the things that he was saying. So maybe as I'm editing it, as I'm reading over the lyrics and stuff like that, as I'm just replaying the song in general, I'm gonna pick up on more. But that goes to show how when you have a lot of things going on in a track, that can affect the way that what you're saying is being received. I feel like he had a lot to offer with this track, but the auto-tune has overpowered himself ultimately, which kind of did his own lyrics a disservice. Now, I do recognize that that is a sound that people are listening to. You know, people like that sound from DBE, M Honcho, etc. But for me, it's just not my cup of tea. Nonetheless, though, I still do think that this one has perfect replay value. As I was saying, I feel like I can hear him collaborating with Dino, collaborating with Abs. I could probably even hear Abs on like a remix to this, honestly. And I'm really only saying that primarily because of You featuring the two members of DBE from Product of My Environment.
Buy you diamond chains, hand me through the red. I can build a view if you come from my bed. Who you in Chanaynay, maybe we could vacate.
That track was really good, and it goes to show how he has that synergy with this kind of sound. But what that also goes to show is that wewantwraiths also has synergy with other artists who are also within that particular lane. So that gives him the opportunity to dabble into the drill audience, dabble into the rap audience, maybe even dabble into international audiences. Now that I'm talking about it a lot, I could see him collaborating with like 1-4, for example, especially with the fact that 1-4 has been experimenting a lot with their sounds and not staying locked into drill. Nonetheless, I definitely understand why y'all wanted me to check this one out. It is a really good song. It was very refreshing. He shows a lot of promise, and I'm looking forward to hearing how he's going to continue to develop. I'm looking forward to hearing some more collaborations from him and all of that. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Who are some artists you want to hear him collaborate with? And as usual, y'all know what I'm going to say. Hang tight for some more reactions. I do got more of those coming for y'all, but until next time, peace.